Welcome to this session. Here today we are going to learn about how to consume web services from the Android apps. What is web services? Web services are a method to communicate between client and server, and they usually communicate either using XML, JSON, or there any format. And they usually use HTTP protocol. There are two kinds of web services: REST web services and SOAP web services. REST web services use the HTML protocol, and then data may be in JSON or XML or any other format. Whereas in the SOAP, it's just a more secure kind of communication, and it's also a format. Request and response are in the format of XML. Here we shall be just covering how we are going to consume the REST web services. You will see it's a very high level diagram. So there is a web services. Web services are communicating with various clients, maybe any Android devices. Android devices usually communicate with web services. They put their request, and then web services, they interact with the backend database or server and get that information and pass back to the information to the client. And while receiving and sending the client response, they usually have to pass the data. Before calling any web services, we should ensure that we need to know whether our device is connected to the internet or not. So for that, we will be using the connectivity manager. For getting the connectivity manager, we use the get system services and get system services of the context, and we get the reference to the connectivity manager, and through this connectivity manager we can get what is our active network, and then we can find out what is the active network type, whether this is a mobile or this is a Wi-Fi, and depending on that we can take our action whether we want to call this web services or not, or we want to defer it. For that, we need to have put a permission in our Android manifest.xml file that's called android.permission.access_network_state. Here there is a sample code that has been shown here. Here we are trying to get if we go line by line, here we are trying to get the reference to the connectivity manager. Through the connectivity manager, we are getting which is the active network. If there is no active network, then active network will be null. And then we are saying, there is no network connection, and please call later. Or if there is network connection, then if it is a connect through Wi-Fi, then what we want to do. If it is through the mobile, then what we want to do. So those kind of logics must be built in your program. Having said it, actually now we have tested the connectivity with our Android device, and if we are connected, we can go and consume the REST web services. For consuming the REST web services, it will be called through some background process. We should be using async task. If you are not aware about the async task, please go and look out our session on the async task. REST web services, they use the HTTP protocol, where data request is sent to the web server and the response comes from the web server, and this request and response are the ways to communicate between the client and the web server. So there are two ways of making this connection with the server. Android supports two types of classes. One is the java.net.http URL connection, and another is the Apache HTTP client. Apache HTTP client is a very huge application, and this has been deprecated in Android. Apache HTTP client used to do well on the. I had a few bugs in the Eclair and the Froyo at the earlier versions of the Android, but later versions of Android, the HTTP URL connection is the better choice. It is simple. It has simple API, a small size, and great fit for Android. So all the new applications I will suggest should use HTTP URL connection. Let us walk through the first with the default HTTP client here, and then we will go in details on the HTTP URL connection. In HTTP URL, if you see the first line, here we are trying to get the object created. So having object created of the HTTP URL, default HTTP client, then we create the URL and we post either whatever we want to post to the server, or you want to use the GET method actually to the server. So having done it, and then if you want to pass some parameters along with that, then that is done using the set entity. Entity are anything that is passed as a part of request and response buffer with the HTTP client. So in default HTTP client, entity is anything which is passed along with the request and response buffer. Okay. So first time when we say that HTTP post.set entity, so here we are trying to send the data, whereas and then we are getting the response, then we are getting the data back from the response, and then we using the HTTP entity utils, we get the data and process it. So that's the way of consuming the web services using default HTTP client. Now moving on to the, so here one of the example, we should walk through this, and then let me go to the HTTP URL connection. That is the default standard, and you should use it. So how we should use it actually? The first, we need to create the URL. So, and then we need to get the HTTP URL connection, that we get it by url.openConnection. And having done it, now we prepare the request. If it is a GET, then the parameters go along with the URL. If it is a POST, then we will have to upload the parameters in the request body. We will see later how it's done. And then having done it, we will start getting the response. We will read the response by getting the input stream, that is get input stream, and we will get the data, and then we disconnect it. So we will go in on each step now. So first, how to create the URL object. For URL object, we can create the string URI, and then we can pass that into the URL class constructor to get a URL object. So URI string may be built by concatenating different arguments, or maybe we can use a string.format method. So anything can be done actually. So, or this may be done by using the URI.builder class. So here we are passing creating a URI.builder object, and then we are passing what is the scheme. What scheme are we going? Is it going to be HTTP or HTTPS? What is the authority? What is the name of the server? Then we want to append the paths seller, and then append the program name, and then what are the parameters that we want to send, append the query parameters. So that way, and from having done it, we can build the URI and then convert that to the string URL, and then this string URL may be passed to the URL to get the URL. Having got the URL, now we can get the HTTP URL connection, and having got the HTTP URL connection, now we need to say we want to see how we are going to handle the request buffer. So request method, you will have to set what kind of request method. Is it a GET or POST? Default is GET. If you do not set any request method, then it takes the request as the GET. So method for setting the request method is the URL connection dot set request method, where in the double quotes we can specify whether it's a GET or POST. In case it's a GET, so we have already passed the parameters along with the URL, but if it is a POST, then we need to pass the parameters along with the request body. So passing the request body, we need to open a connection to the server and then write into that. For setting the connection onto the server, we do the set output true, so that okay, we are going to write something onto the server. Having done the set output true, we need to create which parameters we want to send it to the server. For that, we need to prepare the parameters in key value pair, and those are connected by the ampersand. Those are connected by the ampersand sign. And having done it, we will open the output stream. Preferably change this to the buffered output stream and write the post parameter on this output stream. And this output stream must be flushed and closed. So once it's flushed and closed, then we will start getting the response. Once we start getting the response, we need to see how we are going to handle the response buffer. First, we need to understand what kind of response we have got. So we can get the URL connection dot get request code, response code. So this will give us the response code. And then if a response code, we can check if a response code is in 200, then it's a successful. If it's not in 200, then it may be some error actually. So if it is successful, then we need to, and we are expecting some data, then we need to set URL connection dot set do input true. After doing input true, we need to read the input stream and read the data. So here we are reading the input stream, getting the reference to the input stream by HTTP URL connection dot get input stream, and then we are having the buffer data, and we are reading line by line, adding to the response, and we are processing it. So I'll show you the simple program that we have done. Here you will see, here it's a request method is get. So and we are doing the set do output true. It means that we want to send some data to the server, and then we are connecting to the server. Having connected, then after that we are trying to get data from the server. So here we are getting we are requesting some file to be downloaded onto from the server. So we are reading the data which is coming from the background, and then we are seeing okay, what is the size, and then we are also using the publish progress. This is a part of async tasks. So you need to bundle all these things, your HTTP URL connection or web services call in the the X in task. Thanks.